and welcome to this edition of Saturday Chat with me, Big Scott 35. Wearing my UVA hat, very excited. Being Florida State Friday night. I'm recording this on 9/27/25. We were UVA historically. We beat them. We were the first team to beat them in the ACC. We play them tough, but this year, scary game down overtime. Probably should have had our play a little bit more aggressive there to get the first down. And get the first down, the game's over. Instead, we play a little passively and have to punt, and our defense hasn't held them all night, except for a couple of turnovers. But anyway, enough about that. Just happy. I know there's some big games going on tonight. Probably keep an eye on. My Mets won today. They're still in it. So that keeps them at least tied today. Hopefully the Brewers take care of business for us tonight. One eye on that game. But what I wanted to talk to you, one of two topics that I have. I've been talking about this book now, feels like forever. Exposed how baseball, outrageous lies exposed how baseball happened, the true story revealed. It is a true story. With the facts they use, they're facts. Of course, the Doubleday, I think most people know by now, story is falsehood. They even got as a falsehood in the Baseball Hall of Fame on the first floor I think it's when you come out the movie, or it's right before the Babe Ruth exhibit. They have the Doubleday ball on there and telling you the story is not true, fabricated by Spalding. It goes in depth how a group of people from America wanted to make sure that the game was an American game. They were still bad taste in their mouths from Europe, from Britain, War of 1812. This is how far we're going back here. So you're talking about it really got in a swing by 1850. So 1812 is that next generation. So it was still, they burnt down our capital. So it's still, a bad taste. So they didn't want to be called rounders or anything else. But nobody really knows when the first game. They got stuff going back to before 1800s of a similar game. No stats or anything were kept, but there's always seems like there's been a bat and ball game, and most of the time they were called city games, named after most of the time the city was in. New York, Boston, Philly, all had a type of game. And the game that got picked up was more of the New York style. Then it went across the river to Brooklyn. And that's when it really took off. And it seems like where people moved from Brooklyn area especially, the game went with them and they spread the word around. But it seems like the Civil War helped have people get at least some type of first-time look at the game. Because like I said, a lot of places had their own game. They, different rules. I think they said a Philadelphia game had 5 stakes about the size of a Little League diamond, and you hit the ball as far as you could, and you try to run around the stakes before you got out at home. Things like that, 5 bases, and pretty much all of it was underhanded pitching for the longest time. And you could take as many pitches until you got one you wanted to hit. So there was pitchers that pitched 60, 70 pitches an inning. So even when they started overhand, there is a story of a guy that pitched 70 games in the overhand when it went overhand. So you guys that want to call today's pitchers wusses, your boys in the 50s would have been called wusses by the predecessors before them. Um, that's just how the game is. It evolves. So baseball is a very evolved game. It's parts of just as the game grew, the rules grew with it. Uh, 3 outs. It went from scoring 21 runs for a win to 9 innings because of time. Because when the defense got better, it took longer to get 21 runs. Strike zone was developed because players wouldn't swing the bat. Once they started throwing harder, they just sat there and tried to tire out the opposing pitcher. So the strike zone was invented. Fans was not a thing. Most people that watched the games were either gamblers or just people part of the clubs that were playing. The fans came as the game got bigger, and that's what grew the game beside it. So fans were people that didn't gamble on the games. How do you differentiate them? And they were getting huge crowds at these early games. And I mean, when I'm saying early, I'm talking still talking 1850s, 1860s. It was interesting because today Mike had a video where a guy, he was talking about a person that died of tuberculosis in 1890s, I believe it was. And that was talked about a little bit in this book. Just basic illnesses would take players away along as war. So it was really neat how it started and how just the teams just they wanted to be better, so they would have conventions or committees and have the first games. And the Knickerbockers in New York is probably one of the first teams that really talked about. So there are a lot of times they're talked as the first club and all that, but they know that's not true either because they played other clubs. So there had to be other clubs, even though a lot of games were inter club games. But it seems like every type of industry at the time, if it was meat cutters or lawyers, anybody, police, firemen, would have teams, and they would invite somebody for a game and have a big stew or with their chowder after the game. Learned that chowder wasn't just a clam chowder or a corn chowder or whatever. It's pretty much chowder is the vessel they cook in, is how it started. Is the name chowder comes from that. So it means it can pretty much anything could be a chowder. Basically, it's a stew. I just things that came with the game was very interesting. There was teams of doctors. It was very, very interesting, especially when it came to like the Civil War and how like the northerner guys were playing them in when they were imprisoned, and the Southerners were watching them. And it was pretty much a northern sport. Southern play, of course, people moved to the South, but the South was really slow to play after the Civil War because it was looked at as a northern sport. So, we were very close to having cricket as our national game at that time as well, but the Civil War kind of squashed that. People tended to play baseball, and after that, cricket just slowly went away. The early games were played on cricket fields, and a lot of the baseball players played cricket as well. Cricket was pro before baseball. Even it's funny. So like there were a lot of the baseball stores where the baseball players were not paid But the stories you hear about college athletes, the last 10, 20, 30 years, however, they were getting paid for no-show jobs, being put on payrolls of places, or being give gifts, things that were just, it was kind of funny how it went, and how each other pointed fingers and everybody was doing it. So it's kind of, the book is very good. It talks about, like, every, when you hear there's 16 different people were named fathers of baseball, and every one of them could have a claim to it because everyone made a difference. If it was being a paper writer, help spreading it, or creating rules, or making sure that it was called Americans Game. They wanted, everybody wanted to call it anything from rounders to everything else. But it just took on, you can sit there and say, yes, it was played with a bat and ball, but past that, it was not the same. So, very good book. I recommend it. If you, I know a lot of people out here, and I will get to more of this in a minute. My back half, I'm not looking for this discussion. I want to have it anyway. If you're really a history, like the history of the game, not the play, that the players are part of it. I talked about this before, but the game, where it came from, how it evolved, and you understand how it evolved and why it's evolved. If you want to know why players play the way they do today, look to the past. So when they were playing in this game, the way they were taught how to hit was not to hit down, was to hit up. You want to hit as far in the air as you possibly could. So the evolution has come right back. It's circled. I don't know. If you want to just learn more, and you'll learn that, the things that you talk about, I'm going to start talking about now. Your how we put a certain age, the golden era of baseball, how it has just got this mystique about it. It's crazy. And I know putting any mystique on any baseball, trying to say modern is better than then, it's not. It's a different era. The eras are different. You can compare them as best you can with numbers, but you can't. I wish we would stop and enjoy what we have and what was. We can all enjoy it together and learn from one another. This and the reason why this comes up, it is part of our community, but it's things that's happened to me in the real world this week. How customer service is just a bygone. There's a new, people are different in the last few years. It's a switch went off, and you can point fingers to wherever, but it doesn't matter. And it is not hard to say, have a nice day, how you doing? Do you mean it? No, it's just hollow words, but does it mean something? It means that you actually kind of care, right? I want to see everybody I talk to. I wish I had a better day than what's expected for. Find $100 bill on the ground, whatever. So I had a GameStop. I've been talking about their baseball. We bought some games. They just did a switcheroo on this is a collector's channel, so we'll talk more than baseball. I bought a game, went up there it was a used game, went up there with my box. It was about 4 games for $40. You bought 4 $20 games. You got all 4 for $40. So that's what I did. So I went up there with my case, all 4 cases, and one guy talked to me while the other guy got the cases, and they shoved them in the bag after they didn't think about it. It was a nice discussion. I turned in cards to get graded, all that stuff. Had a great discussion. Left, came home, pulled the games out, and they done switched one of the holders. One of these bad boys to a generic one, just a plain one. And that's not what I went up to the counter with. That pissed me off because they didn't say anything to me. Then I went back the next day. It was my fault because I should have checked before I left. It was my fault because I didn't tell them I wanted the ones that I carried up there with me. And then also this week I started getting. I have a PO box. So I was having stuff, I was getting messages that some of my mail was getting returned. Well, they changed some people at my post office, and sure enough, the person doing my mail was for some reason returning some of my mail. She made a comment to me that I don't pick it up enough last week. I've never had that issue. I can hold it. It's my mail. I can sit there for as long as I want. And it really, really tough to me because to me, I worked retail and I just live my life by being nice to others. I'll sit there and hold the door for 50 people. It's not going to take a second to do that. I will let people in on the road. Sometimes I get. That's why when I get cut off or people drive crazy, it's because they live in these bubbles and they don't realize other people are around them. I want to see everybody get to the next place. I want to see everybody succeed. And I got to thinking, now, how about my hobby? And then sure enough, I start seeing more videos like the one Bobbles did this week. I don't know who said what. I didn't see anything in any of his comments that made him do this one because he said it was something in his comments. And I'm sure there was, or something was said, or something on another video or whatever, because it's ongoing about modern and vintage, and I don't get it. And then so Mike does a clickbait today, and within an hour he gets half of what he usually gets in viewings if it sits there for a week. So, or 30 minutes. It was really quick. And it just shows me. I don't know. We tell people, hey, how do I start being a YouTuber? Just turn the camera on. Just turn you watch it, turn on the video, start doing it. It's easy to upload. It is. It's easy to upload. You do the video, upload it to YouTube. It's not hard. But I don't know if I'll tell people to do it anymore. Not in our space. I think it's very toxic right now. When I first started, it was easy to reach out to people. It was, and I mean, this was, over 6 years ago. It's not like I started 20 years ago or 15, 10, where some of my friends have done it. But it just seemed like, my gosh, in YouTube years, it seems like forever ago. And, even in my space, I have great people. I've been picking up some viewership. I've been picking up, I think, 50 subscribers in the last few weeks, which for me is huge. I know for some people are like, well, that's no big deal. For me, everyone that takes the time to click onto my channel and listen to me, some dude that works a 9 to 5 that enjoys baseball and other sports and collecting video games and Star Wars, Batman, and Winnie the Pooh for I don't know. It's upsetting. Emo Scott is here today. I don't know. I didn't have the greatest week at work. Um, and it just, I don't know why, but this week was very tough. It seemed like every time I went somewhere to do something, um, it's a hate almost for everybody out there for everyone else, and I don't know where it's coming from, and it's even I don't know if it's a hate. It's just I don't care, and to see the human, your fellow humans succeed and thrive is evolution. That's has nothing to do with anything else, morality or anything. That's what it is. You just want to see everybody succeed. You want your race to succeed, and I mean human race. Um, I don't understand it. I don't understand. I'm almost at my tipping point personally, and everything else that's going on out here in the world. Uh, my tipping point probably for a lot of this, where a lot of my anxiety and stuff like that has been been a long time. It was before COVID and all that stuff. What goes on, things I see, um, and cards were my release, and then I got to YouTube, and it made it even better. And it's still great. Don't get me wrong. I'm still, but there's times like this where and I've been talking, Mangini, trying to, hopefully I got a couple other people I'm trying to get on that don't collect like I do, and I want to just, I love to hear how people. I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't understand. And if somebody could tell me why the hate is because I collect differently than you do, or are you just getting your fucking clicks in because you want to put modern versus vintage, or the hatred, or this other bullshit? Good. Get your rocks off and leave me the fuck out of it. Out.